Advantages and disadvantages of having a water softener. Hi, I'm Jim, the Grumpy Plumber. The advantages of having one is that they take care of everything in your house. But if your water hardness is over 13 grains, that's when you need a water softener. Okay? Two things. This is called the mineral bed, and this is the brine tank where you put the salt. And I highly recommend salt over potassium. A lot cheaper. I think salt's $5 a bag, roughly. Potassium's $20 a bag, I think, roughly. The salt makes brine, and the brine cleans this. And it flushes, it goes through it. It takes about 90 minutes. And it cleans it all out, flushes it all back out again. So there's hardly any salt in your water. I guess they even claim it's not even detectable. So that's what the advantage of having a softener. Where years ago, people had water softeners, you had to manually regenerate them, and that's where they got a lot of salt in the water. Nowadays, they're all computerized, and they work great on it. So that's one of the best things about a water softener is. So, and another thing they'll do, they claim they'll take out about 3 parts per million. They don't advertise that, but I had a softener back in Michigan, and it had to take out about almost 2.5 parts per million on the iron. So it removed that iron out of there and stuff. One thing about iron in the water is that it'll cause a lot of stain, like in your toilet bowls, your toilet tanks. You might even see it in your clothes on that. But it does a good job of taking out the iron, a small quantity of it, okay? So that's one good thing about it. The salt, your maintenance is you gotta keep salt in it. If you're gonna have a lot of maintenance, is the only reason you're gonna have to have maintenance if you don't keep salt in the brine tank. Another thing to it, you don't wanna fill that brine tank full of salt. You wanna use about 3 bags at a time. Okay, salt services will come in and they will fill it to the top, and then what it does, it hardens, and they can't, then they got to break up the salt to make it work on it. So, but if you only use about 3 bags, you keep adding, make sure it's there. That's the easiest way to do it. And sometimes you pick it up at the supermarket, or you can pick it up at the big box stores and stuff. The disadvantages is the salt that maintains this mineral bed. That's the disadvantage. You got to get salt, you got to put it in the brine tank, make its own brine from the water that's in there. And what it does, it feeds water from this into that, and it sucks it back out. And that's what cleans us, how that works. It's used to clean the mineral bed. People always ask, do you need a water softener if you're on city water? Well, you can check with the water department and see how hard their water is. Where I'm located right now, the hardness of the water from the city is 25 grains hard. Used to live in a town that years ago that they softened the water down to about 13 grains. They softened it down to that, so that you didn't need it. A lot of people got rid of them, but most people that are on wells, you got to check what the hardness is on the city, and it's easy enough to do it. You can get a kit at Costco or somewhere. You can get a kit, and it's very easy to check it out. So, but I highly recommend a water softener. So, if you don't like that, go and ask the neighbor if they like their water softener.